That
the
was
USS Suppression has launched.
That's what it sounds like when you did you just queef on mic, Ray? Is that what that was?
That was a double queef, actually.
Sounded so angry.
Yeah.
It takes years of training. Don't disrespect it, Roland.
Welcome to Cinekuest Video.
Okay, welcome to Cinekuest Video, the podcast that delves deep into those VHS classics to the modern day format and beyond. Beyond.
Yes.
And today we are actually joined by myself, Ray, and the gentleman in the Pacific Northwest division of MoQuest Studios.
This is Daniel.
And the man of the hour, the birthday boy, the birthday bitch, the man who chose his movie to be. We'll talk about that in just a second. Roland, say hello to the persons and let them know it's your birthday.
Hello, persons. It is my birthday month today.
In fact, why don't you let them know what movie you have chosen for our action movie with the best, worst villains?
Oh, hey, wait, Roland, wait. Before that, just because we're recording today, can we just say fuck the French? No.
Oh, sure. I mean, why in particular? I'm
Cinco de Mayo, homie.
Oh, aha! Yay! That holiday that ethnic people love so great. I don't know.
You're doing great, Roland. Continue.
I don't think I actually know anyone that celebrates Cinco de Mayo.
I'm sure if you open the door, your mother is like going crazy on some kind of tacos or some shit.
Yeah, there's like fiesta tassels hanging from.
She's like, I went to go get a fucking taco bowl from Dairy Queen or something.
Oh yeah, did they like throw confetti in your face or some shit? No.
So I was at the grocery store 3 days ago, right? I was buying some steaks, tortillas, shredded cheese, and I don't know what the fuck else I bought. And the cashier's like, "Oh, you getting ready for Cinco de Mayo?" And I was like, just getting off of work, but like the inner brain was gonna be like, "Why would I have tortillas for Cinco de Mayo? What's that about?"
Yeah. No, why? What's happening? Oh.
But I was just in a bitter like, leave me alone, let me buy my shit and go home and drink because work sucks. Right.
Yes.
You could have corrected her, Daniel, and said like, I'm from the Texas border and Mexican. Texas
you should have been
border.
like, I'm Mexican.
This is daily. This is a daily thing for me.
You racist slut.
I'm sorry. You may think it's a special occasion for me, appropriating a culture that I'm not a part of. But guess what? I've got a raza kinda card.
Yeah. You got a kind of.
Daniel, you and Jamie technically have like a raza card, you know.
Dude, I've been called carnal by like middle-aged Mexican ladies. I think that I have some street cred.
That's funny, dude. Ho 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 ho.
All right, Roland, tell the fine young listeners what your movie choice was this
back
month.
to the subject, I guess.
Yeah, so originally it was going to be Spawn, and then I was like, no, I should probably save that. And then I picked something that I thought was going to be sort of decent, and it kind of was somewhat decent, because I haven't watched it in such a long time that I forgot some of the really shitty parts of this movie.
Fuck you, this movie is amazing.
This movie is like...
I don't know if there's any shitty parts in this movie, Roland.
Okay, well, we'll get to that, I guess. But, so yeah, I picked Last Action Hero because I was trying to think of something action-y with badass villains, and it was either going to be this or I guess Predator was another one I was thinking about. But this is supposed to be
Predator.
You're welcome.
Worst, best, whatever. So maybe we'll save that for later. So yeah, Last Action Hero is my pick. I don't remember if I saw this in theaters. I think I might have. If it was ever out there, fuck if I know. It
was in theaters, and I remember seeing it in theaters.
So I didn't know that the kid in here plays basically the same character in fucking Lawnmower Man. Daniel was mentioning it.
Yeah.
Isn't he like more of a hacker in Lawnmower Man 2?
In Lawnmower Man 2, I don't know if he's in the sequel as well, is he?
No, he's not in the first one. He's in the second one.
He is in the first one.
Oh, he is?
He is the little boy.
This kid is in the first one?
Yeah, he's the little boy that's friends with Job, dude.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Wait.
For real? I thought he only came out in the second one.
I am not bullshitting, because I was like watching Lawnmower Man and I was like, dude, that little fucking kid looks so fucking familiar. So I hopped on IMDb and was like, well, I'll be dipped in shit. It is him.
Yeah.
I'll be dipped in shit.
I
only recall him from 2 movies.
Thank you,
3
Jamie,
movies.
for getting the Steel reference. Love you.
Whoa.
I know he comes out in My Girl 2, Lawnmower Man 2, Last Action Hero. I had no idea he actually came out in the first one as well.
Isn't he the kid in like Sidekicks with Chuck Norris, or is that another little dude?
No, that's Jonathan Brandis, the late Jonathan Brandis.
Oh, word.
Died. Oh, well.
He killed himself.
Oh, he did?
Well,
yeah.
At least he got what he wanted, out of life.
Bitch.
He actually hung himself. So.
Oh. From the neck?
Actually, grammatically,
no, from his
he
dick.
hanged himself.
Obviously, that's what I was at.
Is it hanged or hung himself?
He hanged himself.
Either way.
That's like the legal English
definition.
actual term for it. Yeah.
Hanged.
So he David cared himself?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, he hanged himself while he was working on being further hung. Yes.
Auto-carradined. Man, he was on a lot of really shitty movies, but yeah, he was in Lawnmower Man before Last Action Hero.
That is insane. I really had no idea that he was the smaller version of himself in Lawnmower Man.
He was like, he's in a lot of things.
Well, dude, and like, because like Lawnmower Man came out in '92. What year did Last Action Hero come out? Like '95.
'93. It was '93.
Dude, so it's like a year separated, and the kid looks like he aged like a decade. It's fucking wild. I guess that's Hollywood for you.
He developed a crippling addiction to
he went through puberty all of a sudden in the span of a fucking year when he was like 5 years old, going, "Hi, Job, the friendly retarded kid that mows the lawns." Get him,
okay,
Jack.
I'm gonna play chicken with a fucking car like an idiot. I mean, he sounds.
Wait, what? Oh,
yeah.
You're talking about the movie Last Action.
Yeah. So that fucking scene where he gets on a girl's bike with pink tassels in a basket and shit.
I'm the comedic sidekick. This is gonna work.
Shit.
Oh shit!
I'm the comedic sidekick, or whatever the fuck he says. I'm the comedy relief. Yeah, that would have been great. Like that, they could have ended the movie like an hour early if he just like realized that 1 second too late, and then boom, roadkill.
You know what? I feel like I would appreciate Lawnmower Man 2 a little bit more if I knew that he was actually the same character. I thought they like changed up the whole cast. Interesting.
Welcome to Cinekuest number 37. We're talking about Lawnmower Man today, and
I'm just in shock. I had no idea. I guess I don't remember Lawnmower Man. I think I remember Lawnmower Man more for the friendly gentleman who cuts the lawn and like gets sexified by that lady, and then they go virtual sex style.
But I mean, I watched it for the first time in my life just the other day, so it's a little fresh, like.
No, I got you.
And then he becomes digital Bill Gates, and then everybody has to go in there and stop him or some shit like that.
I think that's where Steve Jobs is right now. He figured out the Job route. He's Steve Job, actually.
He's Steve Job.
You mean? Well, yeah, I guess.
I'm kind of curious about the backstory of Lawnmower Man now, because I don't remember it very much. Now I kind of want to watch both movies. I kind of want to watch them.
And you got Pierce Brosnan in fucking, who's also in the world. He's in fucking Lawnmower Man.
Yeah.
All right.
He's the scientist working on virtual reality.
Yeah, and then that like somehow makes the fucking lawn care dude much smarter or something like that, and then he develops a libido from hell and tries to sling dick around, and fuck happens? Forget.
Does he? I know we're talking about Lawnmower Man. Does he intentionally sling dick around, or is he provoked to sling dick?
I thought he like
he doesn't even sling a dick,
discovered-
man. He's eating a sandwich at, like cutting the lawn of like the divorcee hot chick, and she's getting in my balls like I want to fuck you. And then like a week later, when he's in his cowboy boots gig or whatever, she's like, I wonder if he likes lemonade. That's like the first time he figures out that he has telepathic abilities or whatever.
Right.
So he reads her mind about like, I wonder if he likes lemonade or whatever. And then she's like, well, why don't you come have some nice lemonade? And she fucks his brains out.
Yeah, he uses his telepathy to discover that
he didn't whore around though. Like he only fucked that one chick, and everything went fucky when the shop, which is code for the CIA or whatever, because the CIA is referred to as a shop in other parlances.
Yeah.
But the shop gets involved because they're like, oh wow, these human tests have worked, and they want to reintroduce the previous drug that was used on primates, on chimpanzees, to try to like augment their intelligence for warfare purposes. So then they basically mix their fucking cocktails a little bit too strongly, and Job lost his fucking mind. Shortest Cinekuest ever, just there, guys. And that's cool because we're doing 2 episodes in one, I guess.
And for those of you who probably lost your attention at some point while we were talking about this, and the reason was because the kid that comes out in Last Action Hero apparently comes out in Lawnmower Man.
1 and 2, yeah.
And a shitload of other movies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember him from anything else, really. The last thing I remember him from was from, like, My Girl 2.
Looking at him now, like, I don't fucking know who this is. My Girl 2, yeah.
He's probably cast as like Bystander 3 if he's still acting or whatever. He's
yeah, like he's doing TV shit. Actually, I think the last thing here was a pilot in 2015, so looks like he's taking it easy right now. Huh. But yeah, so I remembered this movie like fondly, but watching it, like I cringe so much because of that fucking kid. Like he is irritating as shit and dumb as fuck.
Roland, I think I don't remember what other movie it was, but most kids in movies annoy the shit out of you.
Yeah. But this one in particular he's extra stupid. So,
and his name is Danny, right? In Last Action Hero.
Yeah.
The Austin O'Brien person is Danny in Last Action
He's
Hero.
got like, what was that? Okay, so the movie starts off with him watching Slater 3 or some shit like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the end of Slater 3. Yeah.
I'm under the impression in this movie that he only watches movies that are called Jack Slater.
Probably. He pretty much is like one of the only. He's got a movie theater.
Practice killed Amadeus, man.
Yeah, so
I guess he just watches a shit ton of movies, including these Jack Slater movies.
Well, like I think he only watches them at the fucking theater because at home he's got a shitty little TV, and that's like further, and because they're poor, which is like sort of further shown when like at one point somebody breaks into their apartment and like cuffs him to the toilet or something, and then like the fucking the thief like goes into the house and starts looking through their shit, and he comes back and he's like, man, you guys fucking suck. You got nothing. You got a shitty TV. Like you got no jewelry.
You have no jewelry, no cash. You got a shitty TV I can maybe get $20 for.
Yeah. And so it's just like, okay, that's a little different. Like you would think you would, I guess, leaving is he's got to fucking, I don't know, file a complaint or some shit with the management. But so I don't think he's watching any fucking movies at home. It seems to me
more than likely his living situation is basically his mom works a lot. She leaves him in the apartment. So basically he's either not going to school a lot,
right?
And he's going to the movies a lot because he's befriended the guy that runs the projector and the theater, I think, at this point.
Yeah, so like this he's at a fucking rundown ass fucking theater. It's got like bums and shit in the lobby or whatever. People like sleeping in the
theater. Yeah.
And like he's the only fucking kid in there, or almost the only person, and he gets the whole place to himself. Like I'm gonna call bullshit from the beginning, but like of course it's they have to set the movie up somehow.
Well, Roland, have you ever been to the Dollar Theater? Literally, it looks like a complete replica of that fucking theater.
Like a fucking dirty diaper, and it smells like the inside of a whale's.
But this place is a grand dirty diaper, whereas like the Dollar Theater is just like a regular dirty diaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, the movie theater, the Dollar Theater is more like a piss stain diaper, and this movie is like a shit stain and piss stain diaper.
Right, it's both. It's a crusty shit stain, and so
basically, well, he's watching these Jack Slater movies, and these Jack Slater movies are starring Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Arnold Braunschweiger.
Yeah.
So
and just real quick, we're setting up the kid. He's like the main character of this movie.
I mean, he's the comedy relief. He should have died. He should.
Yeah, he's the comedy relief when he gets thrown into the fucking theater. But in the real world, who is he playing in that? I mean, he's not like a comedy relief anymore. Yeah.
No, in the real world, he's just like
some normal kid with.
Yeah, well, like, yeah, but like he's more of like a tragic douche. I don't know, like, Mom, my life sucks, but all I've got are these movies, and that's all I need.
Technically, I mean, his life kind of does suck.
Like doing your personal therapy video sessions, right? This is talking about Last Action Hero.
Fuck all that noise. So
I mean, his life kind of does suck a little bit. I mean, he does live in New York City, and like New York City, the way they portray the city, it looks really shitty.
There's 9 million kids with guns out there.
Right.
One of his mom literally told him when he showed up with Arnold Braunschweiger.
Right. So I'm trying to remember some of the action parts on this fucking movie, and they're always like funny as fuck and just ridiculous. I remember at one point a guy, like, they're in the chase scene and a guy like falls off the back of the truck.
Wait, Roland, before we get into this, Ray, do you want to take us through like the little bit of the plot movie to tell us how these movies are relevant to this kid?
Because he has no life. It says here,
no, how he gets in the fucking movie.
With the help of a magic ticket, a young movie fan is transported into the fictional world of his favorite action movie character. There you go.
And apparently this golden ticket belonged to Harry Houdini.
And then that belonged to like a monk or something like that. And that belonged to Jesus.
There was something I read or watched that showed like little trivia about Last Action Hero. And that main guy who runs the projector was supposed to be like the devil or evil character. And that was like in one of the first drafts of the script. Like he was supposed to be like an evil character because where the fuck are you going to get this magical ticket, you know? So instead of like, I guess putting him as like a big part of this movie because they would have to like, because I mean, throughout the movie, he doesn't play a major part. He gives Danny the ticket. He talks about where it sort of came from, doesn't really think it works, then it works, and then he's just kind of like, whoa, it works, that's awesome. And that's much as a role he plays in this fucking movie.
Because like, what if Nick was awake in the theater when Benedict and fucking his goon jumped through the screen and then gave him a few hot tips about how things worked in this world? And that's why there was that lag, because like it took a hot minute for Arnold and little bratty dude to go like, let's follow them. And then all of a sudden, like, you barely see them like running at the end of the theater. Now I think Nick was up in the projection booth yelling down like, so if you shoot a car with a gun, it won't explode. And
he's just giving him this was his plan all along, that the story that they kind of like abandoned. Like it was his plan.
See, I think it's a better movie, man.
It could have been, yeah. But I think they wanted to make this not as
because he got his little half of the ticket back, and you like jump into whatever movie and go fuck like, you know,
Wasn't he talking about that? He was like, "Oh, I get to meet this actress and this one or whatever." I was like,
I think we totally misunderstood this movie. It should have been, he should have been a bad guy.
Right. It's obviously the devil. I didn't know it was that kind of theater, but so.
You think those people were asleep because they have no place to go? They were asleep because they just jerked off.
Yeah.
In the movie prior.
Yeah, they're just like, oh, Arnold.
Post-nut clarity sets in. And you're like, oh, what have I done with my life? What have I... asleep. Never mind. And he wakes up, back in a stupor. All right, time for round, whatever, 12. 11 days.
So again, this kid, you mentioned it before, Roland, he does get robbed. He does go to the police station. He files a report.
The cops instead of going,
they don't. And then
like,
instead of going back home, he just goes to the theater, you know?
Yeah, because Nick was waiting for him there. He was like, hey. And he puts on a show or whatever. Like, wasn't it the kid's birthday or something like that? Or what was it again? Like...
No, it was just,
a release.
I'm gonna screen.
It was the release of the movie.
Jack Slater 4 early, and
and the kid didn't show up because like he got robbed, and then he shows up later, and Nick gives him the fucking
and don't worry, little guy. As soon as this is all done, you'll get an iPhone 10.
Right. he gives him the magical demon ticket. And
well, I guess back in that day, knowing he was all poor, he gives him the VCR and shit, and
gives him some.
His mom's like, "Where did this ridiculously expensive gift come from?"
Came from
Hollywood, Mom. Hollywood.
Base.
That's how it works.
Yeah. There you go. So he sits down in the theater, and then all of a sudden they popped him in the movie, right? Like.
Well, not immediately. I mean, the movie starts.
Like the movie starts, and it's what does it start with?
Megadeth, actually.
Oh yeah, Angry Again is playing off of was it Countdown to Extinction? I think.
I'm not too sure, was cool. But we'll talk about the soundtrack in just a minute because it's pretty fantastic.
It really is.
So I think the movie starts off with was it Slater's cousin getting interrogated?
His second cousin.
Well, he's getting his ass. He's getting his second cousin. He's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, and then that's where they introduce you to the villain.
Tony Vivaldi, who's like the classic, like old school Sicilian gangster in a badass like ocean view house, is beating the fuck out of him.
Yeah, in a shitty shirt.
It's kind of weird for you to.
Hey, don't you dare slam Tony Bahama.
I was gonna say, how dare you criticize his fucking fantastic beachwear, man? I mean,
gross.
Did you see where he was fucking living? You'd be wearing that fucking shirt.
I mean, I'm glad he's wearing a shirt.
If I had that much money, I'd just walk around naked in my fucking pants.
There you go.
Whatever, dude.
That's kind of what I figured. So that's when they introduce you to the actual villain, played by Charles Dance, whatever. Benedict, the fucking.
So that guy later, like, did that guy like get cast in Game of Thrones or whatever?
Yeah. He's
because like I only know him from Last Action Hero. Yeah, and then like as one of the Lancer dudes, it looks similar.
I mostly know him. I mean, like, he's had a few roles, but my favorite role was when he played the patrician on Going Postal.
That was him? No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Well, because it's been played by two people. It was by Jeremy
Irons,
in Color Magic.
Right. Fuck.
And in Going Postal, he fucking plays the patrician, and it was bad fucking ass. I mean, the both of them were really good. So
I'm more familiar with that guy from The Golden Child, the movie with Eddie Murphy.
Let's see.
I think he plays like the devil or something, or some kind of demon in that movie.
That's awesome.
He's got a lot of like, I don't know, D-grade movie and TV series casting. But yeah, those are the cool ones.
But he is Mr. Benedict. I don't know if he had a first name in this movie.
I don't recall any first name, but Benedict. For a second there, I thought they named him the same as they did the guy in Commando, but his name is Bennett. I just thought of that right now. Anywho, so the kid's watching the movie, Jack Slater 4, and as he's seen, everything go down as far as like explanation as to who these characters are, who the villain is, the ticket starts getting all tingly. It's when the explosion happens, right? What happens? Oh, that's when the car chase starts.
Yeah, they're in a car chase, and then there's a bundle of dynamite thrown from a truck at Jack's car, and Schwarzenegger shoots the bundle of dynamite, and it floats through the air. Then it pops to the screen into Danny's world,
right?
And he's like, "Oh shit!" So he throws a bucket of popcorn down on top of it, and it's still ignited. And he's like, so he starts running. And it blows up, and then all of a sudden he wakes up, and he's like in the back of fucking Schwarzenegger's car.
Yeah. And that's kind of where he starts trying not to shit himself. I think at one point he did say that he vomited in the car or something like that.
Yeah, he said he booted.
Yeah, he booted. I was like, what? Nobody speaks that way, but whatever. So yeah, like that. This scene to me was sort of the beginning of like how ridiculous all of the action in this movie is. Like I was saying earlier, a guy falls off the back of one of the trucks, the truck that's chasing Slater, and he crashes through the window of an ice cream truck, and it fucking explodes.
Yeah.
Like
the best part of that is that from that explosion of the ice cream truck, a secondary gunner on the back of the truck slumps over dead because he's got an ice cream cone like delved into the back of his fucking skull.
Yeah, that's right.
That looked like one of those Cornetto ice creams, didn't it?
Yeah, it was very much like a Cornetto, yes.
Yeah, it was. The iconic ice cream
So
death.
Is this the fourth movie of the Cornetto trilogy, and it was like a prequel?
Well, it would have to be the... I mean...
Yeah, it would have to be the main guys from...
It was the first, but
movies.
A prequel.
It was a prequel.
They gave... it's a spiritual precursor to the fucking Cornetto trilogy.
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and At World's End are spiritual successors to Last Action Hero.
There you go. So, oh fuck, I'm trying to remember like just a lot of the fucking ridiculous goddamn things that were happening in that one scene alone. I mean,
all those, those crazy explosions,
point, like, his fucking car takes like a 50-foot dive off a bridge and just like perfectly lands on, on like the side of a fucking canal or whatever under the bridge. And I think another part, like he fucking hits a ramp or some shit and like has it, fucking driving around on two wheels so that he can catch a stick of dynamite that falls in the back seat and snap it with his fingers or whatever. Snap it like he fucking turns it out. And then I think there was another part where basically like he hits like a speed bump or some shit and launches the car into the fucking air like 30 feet high or some garbage. While
they landing on a semi and then...
What was cool about that is that he was able to turn the car 90 degrees to land on that fucking trailer.
Yeah. While like the cars behind him were just like trying to do the same thing, and they just fucking flub it and explode left and right. Like basically, this fucking movie is just full of explosions, and not most of them are damn near impossible to understand.
I mean, in this world, you shoot a car with a gun a couple times, it blows up. Like,
right? Yeah.
As is the case in most action movies, like that's usually how it happens.
That's true.
Oh yeah, word.
So like everything in the Jack Slater movies and the world that the kid is in is basically a very exaggerated version of the action movie. So I mean, basically it's just playing on every trope for the action movie.
The fucking police station is some kind of weird like fucking cyberpunk BDSM goddamn like future fucking porn stage or whatever the fuck. Like all the cops, all the female cops are wearing some kind of like leather fucking metal show goddamn like titty tassels and all this kinds of weird
It's
shit.
for their protection. Don't worry about it.
Right? Yeah. Obviously, they're. You gotta protect the vitals, or some shit like that. There's a cartoon cat who's apparently like one of their best officers.
Who I think is voiced by Danny DeVito.
I thought he was.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, and then you also have like Humphrey Bogart in there as well. I think just a black and white
what was
figure.
it like? Officer Rabbi or something like that.
Right. Oh yeah.
And it has like the I guess the chief who just yells at Jack Slater for causing a bunch of destruction. Again, playing on the action movie tropes
take some
as well.
like notes, but I couldn't write fast enough, and plus my notebook was in the bathroom, which was like 10 feet away, which is really fucking far, particularly when you're drinking. But I wanted to like write down a bunch of his fucking quotes because he had some fucking funny shit he said.
He said a lot of weird shit.
And at some point, he actually is just mumbling shit. Like he doesn't.
Like
he's just like talking gibberish.
Like, and like his ears are smoking.
Yeah, it's all very cartoonish.
Right. Whole thing.
One line was like, "I had enough with your like shit-soaked toast that I've been eating," or something like that. It's like,
So I guess ipso facto, the fucking kid ends up becoming Slater's partner when they're trying to figure out. They're trying to figure out who he is.
In action movies, that's basically how it happens.
Right.
They send a kid on this fucking joyride with a cop
because he's the specialist.
Yeah.
He has all this insider information on like what the fuck is happening with the plot, and they're like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm just a kid." And then they're like, "You don't exist in any known databases. You know what? Now you're his partner." Okay. So they cue the like most of the annoying ass goddamn one-liners that he shits out or scenes for the rest of the movie. What does he say? Fuck. I wanted to write things down, but like I was just so fucking put off like by this kid that I didn't do any of that shit because I was just irritated. Like, God,
I can just imagine how real children offend you on a. Oh man, if you're around them on a regular basis,
all the time. But I just keep it to myself. Whatever.
Yeah.
Kids are dumb, so what can you do? This kid ends up fucking going along, I guess, for the joyride. And what do they end up doing? They go.
They end up going to Vivaldi's.
They go straight to Vivaldi's place. Yeah.
Well, not necessarily, but like
he's fucking like. The kid's like, "This is a movie, blah, 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 blah. Like, pull out your gun and shoot me. Pull out your gun and put it to my head. Pull the trigger. Right. You can't. He's like, because you know what? Believe it or not, you're the good guy."
Yeah. It's like,
and he does say that this movie's like PG-13.
Yeah. So he writes "fuck" down on a piece of paper or something like that. And he's like, "Say this." And Schwarzenegger's like, "I don't want to." It's because you can't. It's because it's PG-13 or whatever. And what does he say, though? He's like, when they're getting in the car, he's like, tell me what you know, and maybe I'll kill you later or some shit like that.
No, he's like, you have 10 minutes to prove this is a movie. After that, I'll shoot you.
There you go. And so they're driving along, and the kid is just like, "Oh yeah, I remember. It was a house that just looked like that one." And he fucking like points to the fucking house they're driving up, and I liked how Slater's character goes like on a long ass winded fucking like sarcasm.
Yeah, he hands him his badge and he's like, "That's incredible.
I guess all the training that I did, all the classes that I took and went to school for don't mean anything." Like,
come on, Roland. You want to do it in Schwarzenegger's voice.
Say, "There's the bad guy."
Yeah. All we had to do. Yeah.
The bad guys are in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's that kid throws that you think you're funny, don't you? And he's like, "I'm the famous comedian Arnold Braunschweiger."
Yeah.
And Schwarzenegger.
What is it? Hold on. I was trying to look for what is he like? There's a really like sort of half-assed funny interaction when they finally go up to the door and he knocks, and then what does he say? I'd like to speak to the drug dealer of the house.
Yeah, I'd like to speak. And then the guy's like, "What?" He's like, "It's such a lovely day. I should be out killing drug dealers."
Right. Yeah. And so Benedict shows up and he's like, I understand. He tells him, I can't do his fucking voice, but he's like, I understand you're interested in drug dealers.
Oh no,
and,
he's like, "Are you a henchman?"
Right. He's like, no, I only go as far as
Lackey. Yeah, it's so good.
And then he's like, take off your sunglasses. Who's asking? The Tin Man. He takes out his badge. Well, Tin Man, suppose you hit the bricks. No, they're the wrong color. Are they? Oh dear, let's change them. Would arterial red suit you? And that's when the fucking dogs. He has some trained dogs come, and he's like, if I snap my fingers, they'll kill you, or whatever the hell. You emerge from several canine rector, or you and Toto can return to the land of Oz. Questions? He's like, yeah, 2 of them. Why am I wasting time with the silly butts like you when I could be doing something more dangerous, like rearranging my sock drawer? 2, how exactly are you going to snap your fingers after I rip off both your thumbs? And then, it does his little, have a nice day.
Damn.
Your fucking Arnold impression's terrible, but those lines were like almost like incredibly accurate, like to the T, almost. Like.
Yeah, I know. And that's why it's so much fun. So what is it? What does he do? He takes off his doesn't he take off his glasses and show him his fucked up eye, which isn't a bullseye or whatever the hell it was.
Well, the guy has like multiple.
He has multiple glasses. So something I kind of don't understand is that he's got those like glass eyes, but throughout the movie when he takes it off, like he looks at the camera and you can see he's got an eye, and like it's not milky white or anything like that. It just looks like a normal eye. So that's where I got
yeah, and like also in that scene where apparently he left his eyeball at the site of Slater's ex-wife.
Right.
He's totally got an eyeball like floating around in that scene.
Yeah. So there's a couple of scenes where I'm just like, that's confusing, but whatever. Who cares?
And on top of that, you're supposed to suspend the disbelief in that world of the movie.
Right, yeah.
Nothing they do in there makes sense. Nothing obeys the laws of physics in the real world.
I mean, like, how does the movie start? What does Slater do when he's approaching the building to fight fucking Jack? What does he tell that cop when they're like, stop him? And the cop is like, I got this, or some shit. Fuck.
Do you want to be a farmer? Here's a couple acres, and he kicks the guy in the nuts. Yeah.
Dick kicks him like 10 feet in the air. Yeah.
Which must be a family trait because his daughter was able to dick kick that guy like into the sky too.
She dick kicks him even worse. Like she fucking kicks him and he flies like up over her head and like into the wall or some shit. It's just like
crashes furniture and shit. Yeah,
just like smashes balls out the back.
As she's doing her weird.
Right, yeah,
martial
and
arts.
beating the shit on him. She like stomps on him and shit.
But I always wondered about. I always wondered about that scene because I was kind of curious as to why she's screaming and kicking the guy's ass.
Because
to distract.
Right. That was my thing. Yeah, make it still sound like she's being like slapped around and shit as she's beating the fuck out of this guy. Yeah, no, that was my fault today. I was like, that's a good cover.
Which was cool. And then she just walks into the main room and they take her gun away like instantly. So it's like, wow, all that build up to nothing. And yeah, so that was what happens in that
scene.
She
got disarmed so easily that I think that a young Billy Corgan's watching this movie and then was like, disarm you with a smile? Because it was that easy.
Oh my God. Wow, call back to mixtape 2 episodes ago, I think, or something. I don't know. But yeah. What other like ridiculous things happen in this world before they actually get punched out? I think the
funniest one. I knew that was you dreaming.
Was the scene of the
funeral?
Leo the fart, yeah.
What does he say?
Dude, the Leo the fart funeral scene was
so
amazing because of it was a whole gag. Because how did the bomb get activated? Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, then they like pull his finger or something.
Yeah, Benedict pulled his fucking finger.
What does Schwarzenegger say? Like in the little baby voice, what does he say? Get me out of here! I'm still alive. Or what?
Help me! Get me out of here!
Help me! Oh my God! Still alive!
I'm still alive.
We need to go to a doctor.
Is there a doctor? I'm a doctor.
Like, could you check his chin?
Check his chin, right? Oh no, the doctor has fainted.
Yeah, the doctor's fainted is the best looking line.
Look, elephant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then all these fucking gangsters are like, "What?"
Tons of fucking guns. Yeah, like it turned into fucking like it turned into a Mel Brooks movie at that point. It was fucking funny as hell. Like there was like 50 people there, all with guns, and none of them can shoot him. And like at one point, he runs right through. He runs right through the fucking group, and they're all just like, whoa, 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 you know, doing their little shit.
Well, it's because he has the body of Ned's or of the fart still.
I thought that was after he dropped it off the.
No, because he gets to the side of the building, he's like, don't shoot! And he throws his arms up and throws the body off onto the fucking crane hook.
Yeah, that's right.
That little Danny was operating. Yeah.
Yeah. That was
again following the rules of the action movie. They got like every person in that funeral. There's a couple hundred people in there, and they're all shooting guns at him. Not one person hits him.
All loading up, man.
Not one person hits him.
No, the one that comes closest, I think, was like a woman in a wheelchair or something.
Not even that, because like as he's running on the ledge, and they're all shooting at him. Of course, everyone's just missing him. Right. He like jumps off and lands on the outside elevator, which is also kind of a cool scene. I remember that from the trailer, where he's in there, and at some point the elevator like starts to tip over, and like he's about to fall off. And he's holding on. Piece falls off, and then he looks at the piece in slow motion. And
kind of like pushes it away from him.
Yeah.
Goodbye, metal bar of nothing.
But Danny does catch him with the hook and the dead body of Leo the fart.
Right.
And I think at some point they get thrown. He's
like
about to blow. Pit. Yeah, it's a tar pit.
Just dropped in the tar pits, yeah.
You just see like a huge fart bubble rise up out of the tar. And then it slowly sinks back down.
Silent, but deadly.
Yeah. Oh, god damn those puns. I think I think at one point Danny even mentions that like how he knows this is a movie. He's like, yeah, all the bad puns.
That was right at the start because and
because you can also hear the sound.
Like, some of my favorite quotes was like, "Oh, I really iced him to coin a phrase."
Yeah, that's right. So dumb.
Speaking of which, the soundtrack he can hear the music playing.
Oh yeah, he plays it in the car.
Like he's changing out distance shit in his player, and that's like the movie soundtrack as you're running around. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then, so like at one point Benedict realizes, like, which I thought was kind of funny, because out of all the characters, like the villain is the one that is the first of, I guess, the smartest to fucking figure out that like their world is bullshit. From the few seconds that he's fucking talking to Danny, he's like, "How do you know this? I've never seen you before." "Oh, that's why. It's because my world is a fake. Like my life is a lie or whatever." And he fucking gets the movie ticket.
He seems to take it pretty well, because he basically takes charge. Like he kills his fucking boss.
Right? Yeah, he does what does his boss say? "Are you pulling a 360 on me?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like 180, you dumb shit, motherfucker. Like,
Well, one of Benedict's best lines was, "If God was a villain, he'd be me."
yeah. So yeah, I guess that's a sign of like the true arch villain or whatever. He figures.
Well, he ends up with Danny's fucking wallet, which has a ticket in it because they took it from him.
He accidentally puts his hand on the wall and figures out he can fucking pass through the movie world into the real world, and that's when he goes and walks around, and at one point he shoots somebody like point blank. Like he just walks up to the guy, "Hey, I think I need to test something out. Like, can you help me?" And the other guy's like, "Sure."
Theory. Yeah.
Boom! He just fucking shoots him.
You know, do you think that
he waits a couple seconds? He takes his watch out. He's like, "Nothing, no cops, no nothing." And then he walks out to like the street and is like, "I confess, I've shot a man." What does he say?
Yeah,
like,
I have shot a man, and I wish to confess. Keep it down there.
I have murdered a man. And someone was like, "Hey, shut up down there." And he just fucking like smirks, and he's like, you know, he does the little, you know, kicking his feet down the street kind of shit.
Do you think this movie would have done well to be in 3D? You think? Imagine if like you know, the part where they're passing the hand through, like maybe it was coming out of the screen or some shit like that. That would have been pretty cool.
Fucking Ian McKellen playing Death, passing through the screen with the giant scythe and shit.
Fuck yeah, dude. That would have been badass.
Sure. Like it came around the same time all this stuff was popular.
Oh man, it passed through their screen and then our screen.
Whoa. Double screen.
So meta. Whoa.
Yeah, this was way.
This would have taken Last Action Hero to another fucking level, man.
Yes.
Anyways,
so what does he say?
Basically, to kind of like sum up what's happening is that like,
first you're my friend, now you turn a 360 on me. 180, you stupid spaghetti slurping cretin. 180. If I did a 360, I'd go completely around and end up back where I started. The guy and Vivaldi's just like, "What? Trust me," and he fucking shoots. That was it.
So basically, he has the knowledge that the ticket is working, or
it's a fucking,
and he crosses over
the world,
and I don't know if at this point is that when they follow him, right? It's because the Jack Slater and Danny crashed through the fucking wall, and then that's when they're gonna fucking go after him.
It was totally then. Yeah.
So what's Bennett's main plan in all this?
He wants to take over the criminal underworld or whatever. That was like his main.
But he realizes, like you said, Roland, like being a villain in the real world is a lot easier than being a villain in fucking the movies.
His end game was never clear, and that's why I've given him points about being like a great villain. So it was just like, because there was no. Once I pulled Dracula and all these other guys from the movies, then here's like how my master plan is going to unfold. Bullshit.
No, he was just saying we're gonna like rule the world, basically. Like no one can stop us, even though like he's a fucking henchman. Like really, there's nothing special about him. He's kind of smart. And he's got a fucking goddamn Clint Eastwood peacemaker, whatever the fuck kind of shit. So. I mean, literally, he probably would have been taken out by the fucking NYPD SWAT or some shit like that instantly. You know, I've got a gun and he's dead. You know, like they probably wouldn't even. I feared for my life or whatever kind of thing, and just opened up. His plan seemed grandiose, but because he never fucking, like you said, like he never talked about, the overall. He never went into detail like, okay, this is what's going to really happen kind of thing. Like, that's why I kind of thought he was a small-time villain, even though, like, I don't know, like, he was trying to be badass. Like, he had grand designs, but he just seemed like a fucking...
See, I like that you say that the SWAT would take him out, but there was just literally a few days ago... those asshole dudes that showed up in like body armor and guns to go like, it's abusive that we have to be quarantined because of coronavirus.
You're talking about it. They did that in Texas, right?
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck it happened, but yeah.
And in this world, Benedict would be king. That's why. People are so dumb. In fact, he probably would run for president, and we'd fucking elect him or some shit. And
I know I'd be first.
You know what, dude? I would straight up like watch First Action Hero and know Benedict was a bad guy in this world and still vote for him.
Yeah, because you know what? He's a charming motherfucker, and like that's all that matters. Nowadays, charisma. That's it.
We can all apply to be part of his cabinet.
It really isn't. Yeah, can I be the minister of lying around and making snide comments on occasion?
You want to
Sir,
be?
You are hired.
You want to be the second hench in command?
That's second grand hench. Thank you.
Grand hench. You know, it would have been really cool if they had like sort of let Benedict run with his plan a little more. Like let him pull out Dracula, let him fucking start getting like Frankenstein's monster, and then like make it go sideways and end up like he gets the guy from Young Frankenstein or some shit.
Igor,
he gets like
the monster.
He gets or you know what? You know,
Last Action Hero Part 2. Fucking Benedict runs for city council, and Arnold is there trying to stop him under the guise of Arnold Braunschweiger, but everyone just keeps impeding because they're like, "Oh, it's Arnold," and that's how Benedict wins.
I have a question for you guys. For instance, if Benedict, he gets killed at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
At any point, if Danny still has a ticket and it works, you could go to any copy of Jack Slater 4 and bring Benedict back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like the option is there for him to like literally like the thread isn't over. It's just kind of contained.
Well, my question is like
would have to figure it out again or whatever like that.
What did Jack Slater 4 look like then to everyone else that watched it?
What do you mean?
Yeah, was Danny in there?
Yeah, because like wasn't the movie
I don't think
still
so. I
being
think it was
made
just
when they're watching it or whatever? So is it like
video.
another Blazing Saddles moment where they break into the other theater and?
I sort of figured it was just that one reel because that was the movie that was affected. So if anything, like he could have gone into all the other Slater movies
of the movie. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, dude.
It would have been cool if Danny had gone into all of them and got like an army of Slaters or some shit, and they could have come and just beat the fuck out of him.
Nah, he would just be like, I need more friends my age, and he gets a bunch of hymns to go fuck with one Jack.
Nah, that would be pretty funny. No, we need an army of Slater daughters, whatever her name was, to come and kick the shit out of everyone because that's awesome. And
he's gonna try and convince one of them to be his girlfriend or something.
If it didn't work in this version of the movie, maybe the next time I do.
He's gonna keep doing it.
And speaking of which, like you know how in
that's
Back
how
to the
he's
Future,
the comedy relief.
someone
He just gets fucking rejected in every goddamn movie.
They could totally
interacts with himself and kind of fucks up with the space-time continuum.
Yeah, dude, exactly. So it's like you have alternate versions of Last Action Hero where Danny makes different choices and shit.
I still think it would have been funny.
Well, but that's what I'm saying is like, does that one copy affect?
That's what I'm wondering because
I don't think so.
Because is the movie like being written then as they're going through their hijinks? Like,
I think he's just
kind of like
the citizens,
kind of like in the Mouth of Madness, as things are getting written, as they're kind of happening.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. What are the rules of the universe meshing with reality? Like, how does that fuck up everything?
Yeah, this movie should have ended with Danny watching The Last Action Hero, laughing himself to death, eating popcorn.
Right.
And what about Danny's mom? She had a hard-on for Jack Slater.
Oh, yeah. They really bone her out for each other at one point. What is
I've never just sat with a woman
with her hair in that like classic 90s like I'm interested in you trope. Like she does that like 2 or 3 times around fucking Arnold, like looking at him like, come
yeah,
get
and he's
this.
just drinking it up. He's like, I don't know if I've ever listened to this before. I think I like it. You know, the fucking classical music.
Oh, dude, when he's like, I never think I've talked to him before. It was
Right,
neat.
yeah.
It's neat.
Mom, you turned him into a wimp. And then
but Jack Slater does go through like some kind of meta crisis when he realizes that he's actually part of
he finds out he
fictional
is
world.
Fictional, yeah.
Yeah. He like the cars don't explode when he shoots at him.
Right. He punches things and his hand hurts.
Yeah.
They don't show this in the version we watched, but I remember seeing it in theaters. Like at one point, he punches a car window and it shatters, and then he's like, "Ow, my hand!"
That was in the version we watched, man.
It was. I didn't see it. I guess I missed it. But yeah, he punches a car window in the real world and it shatters, and his fucking like he probably fucking broke a knuckle or some shit in that. He's like, and yeah. I think and I mean, another point he's fucking shot point blank by Benedict, and as he's dying there, they eventually get him back into the fucking movie where everyone's like, "Oh, help him, and the fucking doctor's like, "This is a flesh wound, like get him on his feet," you know, like as is expected in the movies, like he can't die, he can't really be hurt, and yeah. So he had a close call, but that was about it. I mean, past his fucking like bouts of fucking like existential horror or whatever the hell you want to call it. Knowing that.
Well, I mean, he also, I think it hits him harder because he realizes that his son and the the death that he experiences, like,
his life
doesn't matter.
Like his ex-wife, his fucking crazy daughter that he wants to just be like normal, and she's like crazy, you know, super aggressive and loves, you know, hyper ultra violence and shit. And then like the fact that his son was killed for the entertainment of for, you know, as a plot device, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so
and by one of his, I guess, worst enemies too.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
the guy of that brain.
This movie has so many villains in it, like, and they all kind of take turns being in the spotlight. But if I was gonna pick, like, so like that's his nemesis is Jack, the Jack character, and the main villain is Benedict. Wait, where is that? Yeah, Ripper, played by Tom
Ripper.
Newman.
Yeah.
And I always liked that character. He always really creeped me out because did they ever give him like fake teeth, or is that the way his mouth really looks? Because he always looked like he had more teeth than he should have.
I honestly think that's what he looks like.
The
he has like a fucked up smile.
You know, quote unquote, you know, when they're in the real world and they run into the actor that played Ripper. Yeah. I kept waiting for him to smile or something. I kept like looking at like for his fucking mouth. I was like, because you can't have that many fucking teeth, man.
No, I was watching it too. Like this motherfucker, like that. Damn it! Like why is it so weird? Considering like there's nothing special about him. He's just some fucking crazy ass dude, and like you know, he doesn't have a fucked up eye. He doesn't have like some kind of stupid scar or nothing. Like he just has like a
two teeth too many
smile. Yeah. and a badass fucking axe like out of nowhere that he puts together like a goddamn hitman, like busting out their rifle when he's in the real world, and like he pulls out like all these fucking parts, and you see him like clipping and folding shit together for like a couple of minutes, and then he just pulls out an axe. You know, it's like,
yeah, it's just really badass.
Like that is really cool, but like, why are there so many parts into this fucking axe? Like,
do you think that's how Lee Harvey Oswald felt when he didn't shoot JFK?
Right. If he felt like Tom Newton or whatever, putting together his goddamn weapons of destruction. So I kind of think his character was wasted. in the end of the movie. Like he was sort of brought in as like the first of Benedict's fucking like, you know, villains from the movie world into the real world, and summarily fucking killed off like pretty quickly. Again, like in the same way, he's on a roof, he fucking throws the axe and gets electrocuted and falls to his death. I thought he could have been used a lot more, or should have. Like, I don't know. It seems he.
Well, yeah,
like
I mean, but the thing is, by
a wasted opportunity.
It probably was, but if they're going for runtime, also, I mean,
good God, movie.
The movie is 2 hours 11 minutes long.
It drags so fucking much.
Oh, thanks, Ray. I was about to like pull up the information on the runtime because I was like, well, like,
dude,
to be fair,
well,
like,
because
they only had so much time to try to tell this like huge narrative they could have said or could have.
They kind of wrap it up pretty fucking
cool,
quickly.
Yeah. It was like as soon as like hour 45 hit, they were playing like the Oscars music to get people off stage.
Yeah. Yeah, so they could have probably cut out a lot of this movie.
Oh, I don't think there's enough of this movie actually.
I like
because there's a lot of runtime, but there's like not a lot of developments going on. But there's a lot of cool stuff that happens when there's not development
like an action
going
movie.
on.
Like an action movie, you get.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Well, imagine like the road they could have taken with this movie after they come back into reality. I mean, because there's a lot of things to deal with,
like some weird hard sci-fi shit.
Yeah,
and like Roland, like you said, if they brought back like all these other fucking villains, like you got another fucking hour to like
they could have
to like fight all these people, or
Michael J. Fox's Teen Wolf or whatever, you know.
Oh, do you know what's funny? Is like I was wondering like where Benedict was going to get Hitler from.
Wouldn't
it just be from that film where he's speaking?
Yeah, but I guess it'd just be like from old like World War II movies or whatever, where they're showing like
obviously
from Hitler or whatever.
YouTube. Yeah. I thought Ian McKellen had a really cool cameo, and he was actually kind of important to the plot, because when everyone had already been like, "Oh fuck, like Slater's gonna die, like what do we do?" and fucking
I love how the only person that he killed was a cop.
Yeah. He just walks by and like touches him on the shoulder, and the cop like starts choking and just dies as he's going away, and nobody stops him either. They're just like, "Oh yeah, he's this dude wearing a big fucking black robe or whatever." Like, okay, cool. He
so as Death, a fictional character, as Death comes to the screen, Death, the character has real life.
Yeah, he's like a fictional character. Then
he's basically
manifests
the real thing
like
in this world,
real
right?
Death stuff. Yeah, because he knows who Danny is. Yeah,
he's a fictional character, but he still has like, I guess the fictional. Well, like he may be fictional, but he still has like I what seem to be the knowledge and the fucking like proclivities of Death himself, because he fucking goes. Where he's going, like he seems to have a purpose. Like he just goes to that one straight to the fucking movie theater that Slater and
he was just like walking around fucking around until he saw the ambulance that Danny was driving. Then he went to the theater.
Right, there we go. That's right. And he goes straight to there and tells them like, "Oh yeah, like and he knows he tells Danny when he's gonna die, like, "Oh, you're gonna be a grandfather, you're gonna die of old age surrounded by your loved ones, you little prick." And Danny's like, what do we do? And he's like, "Well, there's two parts to the ticket," and he just fucking like turns on his heel and walks away. And they immediately go and they recover the other side of because they tear the ticket in half and put part of it in the other half in the ticket box. He just gets it back, and it's like, oh, there we go. Like, he can survive now. Let's send him back. And
yeah. And by the way, they didn't have the other ticket is because Benedict. Is that
he
had the ticket, and that's why he was bringing back. He was going to say he's going to bring back Dracula.
Right, Dracula.
Yeah. he's gonna bring back all these people to kind of like wreak havoc and shit.
It gets torn or it gets burnt up or
no. It just falls and like it loses it somewhere because after they kill him, like it kind of just flutters away into the wind.
That's right. It just fucking floats off.
Well, it floats out and it lands in front of the theater where that movie where death is in.
Yeah, that's right. That's how he comes out.
And they never tie that up. Like he just walks away and like that's it. He's gone. He doesn't go back into the movie, as far as we know.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot more to explore in this movie. A lot of things that they left just kind of unanswered. So I mean, how much of this movie can you fit? I mean, because they introduce a lot of, I think they introduce like a lot of points that they kind of like just hint at, and they don't explore any of that because I mean we don't get anything else from the daughter necessarily. No. She never comes back after she helps him with the car, or she lends him the car or something like that.
Doesn't she end up in the end of the movie or something?
No, because I mean they go back to the station and she's not there.
Oh, okay.
It's just everyone else who's in the station. I think even the cat.
Yeah, no. Unless you see the fucking daughter is at the tar pits.
No.
Yeah. So I mean, and then of course you have Death, who kind of never goes back into the theater or into the movie. Does he just like linger around, like being Death and like
doing
death stuff?
Doing death stuff. Fucking killing cops left and right. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, and I mean,
fucking follow-up sequel, Last Action Hero, When Death Meets Death.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's basically the gist of the movie as far as like what happens. We have Arnold Schwarzenegger pretty much just being a parody of himself.
Yeah,
making fun of himself, which was fun to watch. You know, I mean.
That was back when he was still saying "I'll be back" and shit like that.
Yeah, because I mean, T2 had just come out, so I think the year before, and they did have a cameo from Robert Patrick, which is the guy who played the T-1000 in Terminator 2.
He had a cameo.
And there was the scene in the Blockbuster.
No. The scene where they're walking into the police station. He walks out.
Whatever, Sharon Stone's character, and then T-1000.
Yeah, his character. But kind of going back to our previous episode of Demolition Man, where in that world, Schwarzenegger is probably like the
he's the president.
well-known character. He's the president, but in this world, like Stallone has taken roles like in Terminator 2.
So they show him as the on the cardboard cutout instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger for Terminator 2.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering if they kind of
and even like
played on that for each movie.
Jack's like, he was fantastic. That's his greatest role.
Right, yeah. Probably because I know they for at one point like had a few action movies where they had a lot of that tongue-in-cheek like fucking jokes or whatever references with each other.
Yeah,
and I like that shit. I think it's hilarious.
Speaking of in the movie Twins, there's a scene where Arnold Schwarzenegger is standing in front of a picture of Rambo, and like he like feels his bicep and then kind of just brushes him off like, nah, he's not. He doesn't have as big as arms.
That's really fucking funny. Wow.
Yeah. So what else in this movie? We were going to talk about the soundtrack.
Oh, well, I mean, it's great.
Yeah. Did any of you ever own the soundtrack?
No, not for this one.
No.
I still have it on cassette and CD because it's just really fucking good. I never heard of Megadeth prior to watching this movie.
Oh, really?
And hearing Angry Again, I thought it was like the coolest fucking riff to like introduce the movie, and it really fucking is. Like
it is.
It's really fucking cool.
Yeah, I think that was probably the coolest part of the soundtrack. At least the
AC/DC bit too.
The AC/DC song is pretty badass. It's pretty
when was that?
That's the first song that kind of comes. Well, this is the second one.
Oh,
when he gets as soon as he jumps in the car, and he takes off, you hear that dun dun.
Yeah. That's right.
That's really cool. There was actually a version of Dream On, which is a live version from Aerosmith that I personally believe is way better than the actual recorded version of that, and that was taken from MTV's 10th anniversary special. The Big Gun was actually written. Big Gun was actually written for the movie at the request of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's what's up.
He asked them, and they wrote that song, which is pretty fucking cool. You have Cypress Hill, Cock the Hammer, which was also one of my other favorites. Let me see.
When the fuck did that come on in the movie?
I think it's when they hit the real world. It's. I think it's very light in the background.
Oh, okay. Word.
Real World by Queensryche was also pretty cool. That came out, I believe, when he's kind of like coming to the realization, or Jack Slater is coming to the realization that he's actually not. Oh, it's when he crashes and like he's like, man, that really hurt. He crashes a car.
Right, yeah, he tries to play chicken with someone and like it just it backfires, but then he's like, but you have the was it the airbag to protect him and shit and
And the soundtrack also has 2 songs by Alice in Chains, which is also really cool. What the Hell Have I is probably the better one on there. But yeah, that soundtrack's really fucking badass. Should check it out if you have not. Actually, the soundtrack
badass
was did better than the actual movie itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know this movie didn't do well in theaters.
It didn't, but it came out alongside. What was the other fucking movie? Was it Jurassic Park?
Yeah. It was around the same time, so it was shitty timing, pretty shitty timing. Love the action, but not so much the rest of it.
Speaking of the fact that this movie didn't do so well, Schwarzenegger has gone on to say that he's considered this movie his first real failure after an unbroken string of successes. He has also considered it the beginning of the end of his movie career.
Only 5 years later, he released Batman and Robin.
Yeah,
and then he did was it the third Terminator movie or some shit like that?
Well, he's been going on. Well, at this point, how many fucking Terminators are there?
Yeah, but I mean,
like 35, I think.
There was only
somewhere around there.
The only 2 good ones were the first ones, and the rest were pretty goddamn questionable.
Yeah, questionable is a very gracious term from you. Although, to be fair, I've not seen the most recent one, Dark Fate, or whatever the fuck it is.
Terminator Dark Fate.
Yeah, that one. I've not.
He plays Carl, the T-800.
You gotta admit that one's kind of funny.
Yeah, he's one of the better parts of the whole movie. And that movie was bad. The fucking plot.
But I saw this film called Terminator Genesis before this came out.
Never watched it, and I know it's worse.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
Yeah.
What do y'all think of Matt Smith as a?
Yeah.
The villain.
And the thing is,
oh my god, I felt bad for Matt Smith, man.
Matt Smith should be embarrassed for that. Yeah. And
never
Matt
saw
Smith should be happy that his role in Star Wars Episode 9 got cut.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah, he
was actually slated, if the internet shit I read is to be considered valid. The original Episode 9 villain was going to be a villain from one of the CGI series that they did. From Star Wars Rebels.
Was it going to be Thrawn? Oh wait,
no. There were the Inquisitors in Star Wars Rebels as well.
Oh, okay.
And so Matt Smith's character was supposed to be one of the sons of one of the Inquisitors that was killed. And that shit got kiboshed for that weak ass Rey is a Palpatine storyline.
Yeah,
I think it's fucking stupid as shit.
Fucking hated it.
Well,
So
at
dumb.
this point, if you have seen a movie, Roland, it's not a spoiler for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah, god damn it. That movie was pretty shitty.
I mean, I watched it twice, and like it was very enjoyable, but then there was a lot of stuff that bothered me about it. And maybe one day we'll get onto MoQuest, Cinekuest,
What the
Rise's Star Wars hate for the later
We'll have
movies.
to take it by like by chunks. So we'll do the first trilogy and then the second.
Yeah, exactly. But we leave the Holy Trilogy alone because that's already perfect.
Yeah. I mean,
So speaking of how movies do in the theater, Last Action Hero, like we said, came out in 1993, June, I think. There's various release dates on this movie. I don't know why I've seen, but it's PG-13, 2 hours and 10 minutes, and this movie has a 6.4 out of 10 ratings.
Yeah,
on IMDb, pretty good. I mean, I think most people watch after. Well, it's pretty good considering.
Think that it would have done better in theaters for having that overall rating.
Well, again, coming out against Jurassic Park, you're just gonna get swallowed up. I mean, I wonder what other movies came out during that time that have been fucking forgotten. Let me see here. This movie, I don't even remember how much budget this movie fucking had. Does it say? Does it say? Does it say? It should say. Oh yeah, this movie had a budget of $85 million, and gross in the USA was 50 million. Wow. And worldwide gross was 137. Yeah. 0.3 million, sort of. Not completely terrible, but I mean, I would imagine if it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, they were banking on a bigger.
They shouldn't have put that fucking kid in there. That's what it was.
You think it was a kid? I don't think it was a kid.
The kid fucked it all up. I
don't think so.
I felt like I was watching, like parts of the Page Master or some shit. Like I thought the kid was like
Page Master.
I thought the kid was like Macaulay Culkin or some crap.
You said you thought the kid was like Macaulay Culkin?
Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Just lame.
Page Master.
Did you watch that movie, Roland? The Page Master?
Fuck yeah.
I did not watch that movie.
Weak.
I don't remember anything about it except there was like cartoons and Macaulay Culkin was involved.
And that's cartoon Macaulay Culkin.
Well, I don't. Have you ever revisited that movie by chance?
Not in a long time.
How many times in your recollection could you say that you actually watched that movie?
I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4.
No shit. I haven't seen it once.
I saw it in theaters, and then I think I saw it again.
Roland's cultured, motherfucker.
Yeah, some shit like that.
Yeah. Did you do the same thing when Harry Potter came out, or what?
No. Watched them all one.
That was kind of rude, Ray.
Just a question.
Yeah.
It just depends on him how he decides to interpret my intentions, you know.
Phrased it like a bitch.
I'm asking a simple question about a book. You're implying that I have malicious intent. I don't.
There is hatred.
No, I'm not implying
with that question. Yeah, there's no question about it.
I'm referring from your bitch ass tone.
My tone? I don't recall.
Yeah,
that sounds like a personal problem to me. That sounds like a personal problem. All right, you're gonna get all uppity about a question.
But on the subject of Harry Potter, have you bitches read that shit?
Yeah,
I have not. I know Roland has though.
Yep.
I've read through the 6th book. I didn't care enough about the series to finish it.
I finished them, but I read each of them once, and pretty much it. They got better as it ended.
Yeah, whatever, Roland. Can't you just say you enjoyed the series?
I didn't say I hated it.
There's the admission. Take it for what it is, Ray.
It was okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Compared to the movies?
Oh,
well, it's not even about the movies, man. It's just like when you've read good sci-fi or good fantasy, and then you're subjected to okay sci-fi or okay fantasy that everyone goes gaga over.
Then you watch.
There's not a lot you can do about it because it's like, well, dude, if you think this is cool, here's an actual series, but no one wants to read that because J.K. Rowling didn't write it or whatever.
The books are better than the movies. The movies are still pretty good, but there are better fucking like versions of those books out there. The whole like, let's introduce you to the world of magic and all that shit. There was this one.
Yeah, it just follows that old like what is it? Joseph Campbell, like Hero of the Thousand Faces sort of.
Oh yeah. I have the book right over here. Actually, I'm looking right at it. But yeah, so
I'm surprised you didn't put that one in storage.
No, I've been wanting to reread them actually. So I took them out. And but so like one series I was thinking of that I'd always wanted to pick up, and I have it around somewhere on a PDF, but like the Dresden Files, for example, was one that they tried to make a series out of, and it just sort of
but that's another like call to adventure,
right? Exactly,
archetype filled nonsense, right?
And it was I don't know if it's still a continuing ongoing book series. I think it might be. So yeah, there are a few out there.
It just sucks because like a lot of stories will suck because you've either read better or you got corrupted by reading about mythology and folklore and shit like that.
Right. So, I mean, just makes you like picky, which is also good because there's a lot of shit out there. And so,
before we go over ratings, what do y'all have any favorite parts of this movie?
It's the funeral scene, I guess, would be my favorite. This man is not dead.
Yeah, that's I'll go out and say that's my favorite scene also, for sure.
It's fucking hilarious because it's very random. Like Schwarzenegger's not known for his comedy. Like he's known for bad jokes and fucking punching people. And this was actually really funny when he's like, "I'm not dead. You're picking me out the field," like that was
his attempt to like change his voice as someone who's, for some reason they all believe that Leo the Fart had a very high pitch.
Right, yeah.
And him saying, "Help, get me out of here." Like, it sounds like a toddler trying to say those words.
And seeing a grown ass man doing that was just really. It was really funny.
What about you, Daniel? Do you have a favorite part in this, or favorite scene, favorite portion?
Yeah, one where it was like early on in the movie where Danny was like trying to demonstrate how they were in a fictional universe, and they're in the police station, and he's talking about the animated cat, fucking detective dude, and he's like, "There's an animated cat that just walked in the building," and then Schwarzenegger's like, "And he's going to do it tomorrow. He was only suspended for a month."
He's one of our best.
And that cat fucking saves his ass later with
that's
practice. Because he ices him before practice is going to kill Danny and Jack.
Yeah, when he turns bad or whatever the fuck. They just shoot him in the back.
What about Benedict? What makes him either a good or bad villain?
I don't know.
Since since this is your pick, go ahead, go first.
So yeah, like I just thought he was a cool villain because, like how we were talking about earlier, he had some really great plans, but like his I guess overall execution of them seemed kind of like weak sauce shit. So like I still think he's a small time villain, but like he was sort of propelled into being a possible fucking supervillain because he's pretty fucking intelligent. he's a fucking hitman assassin or whatever. And he figures out, like very quickly that they're in a movie, and like how he can, exploit that to his advantage, like very quickly. And yeah, I mean, like he's pretty funny too. Like he's got a twisted sense of humor, all that kind of. I want to test a theory. Can you help me? Sure. Blam. Like there's a lot of funny moments, and like that for me is as dumb as that might be. Like to me, a villain with a sense of humor is like that is pretty high up there on the shit headometer or whatever for villains kind of thing. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I would still put him above Silverio easily.
Well, we'll talk about that in just a moment, Roland.
Oh, let's
not give all that just yet. I still have everyone's
our previous list.
Oh, you have our ratings.
I have the list like here from the last ones. But Daniel, what do you think about Benedict?
Everything that Roland said.
Kind of cut out there, buddy.
No, I didn't.
No, that was it. Everything I said.
Yeah, no, Roland hit it on the head. But if we're gonna jump to like a villain's rating real quick, I'll give him a 3.5 out of 5. But if he were able to like rapidly mobilize his let's pull movie characters and dominate the world with it,
if he didn't wasted time,
he'd be a 5 out of 5.
Yeah. If he hadn't wasted time, like he could have gone to like all the other Jack Slater movies and pulled out all the villains instead of just Ripper.
Well, you have to think of him also in the terms of he's a movie villain,
right?
So he has to not like just act, which ideally he would have done in the real world, just fucking act, but he still has to go and fucking explain his whole plan, just like any movie villain fictional character would. I mean, or else they would just fucking act. And he could have just killed Jack Slater and Danny.
He does fall prey to that.
But no, we must have exposition for hours.
Right. Yes. And Danny even says that. Why do you have to keep talking and talking? And then in the end of the movie, Benedict is gonna kill them, and he's like, "Well, you're gonna die anyway, so I might as well give you the whole plan." Like, oh, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, because Danny pulled a whole monologue thing to practice.
Yeah, and he falls prey to his own writing. I guess poor writing, poorly developed fucking character arc or whatever. So
okay,
but I'd give him probably a 3 for my villain rating. Because like he's sort of seems like he's more threatening than he actually is, I guess. I don't know, like it again, I think it's just there's a lot of wasted potential in for this guy.
Sure. I mean, he seems like a pretty smart and charismatic villain, but again, he is also the stereotypical villain, so he does waste time. He does act pretty quickly. He does hatch a plan, but instead of going through with that plan, he gives, like you said, exposition, and he starts talking. He
adapts quickly, and he just starts to sort of like take his sweet time, and that's where it falls apart.
Yeah. So I mean, as far as me, I'll give this guy
design,
right?
So.
Yeah, he was pretty much just setting himself up to fail.
As far as rating for me, I'll give this guy like a I'll go down the middle, like a 2.5. He could have done a lot more with the time that he had, but again, he fell into the stereotypical villain tropes where he talks and then he just kind of just wants to make a very grand
he wants
entrance
to be
kind of thing, and so he wastes time doing that.
Yeah, pretty much.
So I guess we can go with the ratings for the movie, and then we'll talk about our villains list afterwards. Roland, it's your birthday month. What would you give this
rating
movie?
for this movie? I'll give it like a 2 out of 5.
A 2 out of 5.
So the best parts of the movie can be fucking counted on your fucking hand. Schwarzenegger and Benedict in a close third, and second would be Slater's daughter, and that's pretty much it. Danny can fucking take a fucking short jump off a tall cliff for all I care. He's an annoying little putz. And
you really hate this motherfucker, don't you?
I fucking hate him so much.
He's got some
He's
like
so
venom in his
smug
heart for
throughout the
that
whole
guy.
movie. He's a smug little self-assured little shit throughout the whole fucking movie until the end, where he comes into the real world and he's like, my world sucks, this isn't cool at all, and like reality's crashing in on me, and I just realized that whatever, like fuck off.
All right, so you gave it a 2, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how about you, Daniel?
I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. Unless this was a movie where after Danny got robbed or whatever, or the house got broken into, he got so traumatized that he disassociated and imagined all the events, then that'd be a fucking 6 out of 5.
All right. I guess for me, I'll give it just a straight 3. Schwarzenegger's funny. The kid is whatever. You can kind of replace him with any kid and it'd probably be just as good. Villain is all right. Wish he could have done a lot more. The potential for him to do a lot more was there, but they didn't really explore that because the movie had to end at some point. And I thought it was pretty funny. And I think for me, the best part of this whole movie, I mean, minus the funeral scene, is the soundtrack. That's probably the most enjoyable part for this film.
So, does Jack now have to live out his life knowing that he's imaginary, going through all of his like cop chases and so forth?
Well, see, there's a thing that we didn't get to explore either. I mean, yeah, you know what? I think he knows because he doesn't like wink at Danny.
Yeah,
through the screen at the very end.
He's being returned to his, but so like now, but he's like, this is all bullshit, like, why do I have to fight this fucking mass murderer now because this is all made up? Like,
well, he kind of seems like he's like enjoying all that being in the movie reality has to offer.
Quit projecting.
It's true. When he smashes the fucking glass, he's like, it's working again. I think he's just enjoying that. So,
well, because that's a return of normalcy for his character. Because he's like,
yeah. So he's enjoying that. He prefers it to be that way.
Well, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, for sure. Why would I want to live?
I mean, for the parts of the life that don't suck.
I mean, wouldn't you want to hang out with a fucking cartoon cat and shit? It's like one step closer to fucking Roger Rabbit, man.
Yeah, but so Roger Rabbit the movie is great. Roger Rabbit the character, I mean, like, you just want to fucking throttle him. You know,
I'm not talking about him, the character. I'm just talking about like the movie world or cartoons you can interact with.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, yeah, Roger Rabbit, the actual character, would fucking piss you off, man. Because
he'd be like the most murdered fucking cartoon out of there.
The most murdered.
I mean, everybody would just be fucking killing him left and right. Just, I don't know. I mean, he obviously is a cartoon, so he can't die, but...
Well, technically you can if you've been dipped.
Right, yeah. So people are gonna be fucking just waiting to see him with some fucking turpentine just to splash it on him. Take this, motherfucker.
So, as far as villains, or in the spectrum of the villains that we've talked about and discussed up until this point, like I said, we have Lopan, we have Simon Phoenix, we have Shonuff, and we have Silverio. That's personally for me. I'm gonna say this right off the bat. Like my list probably doesn't change from the other ones. Benedict is right on the fucking bottom.
Yeah.
So Roland.
God damn it, Ray. That's where I'm at. Because if it's like overall impact level, it was shit comparatively.
So I would go with him above Silverio because of the scale of what he was trying to do there. Like Silverio is small time. So this guy was small time, but like trying to do something.
He did
crazy.
have potential to do something fucking crazy, but he didn't. Yeah.
Silverio had his whole network going, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, this guy, he had Vivaldi's connections. Once he killed him.
Because those worked on planet Earth on Danny's reality, right?
Well, like on planet Earth, like shit worked a little differently, right? I mean,
no, that wasn't part of the whole movie, right?
So, like, he actually killed somebody. Silverio, I don't know, like, he kicks people.
Did you say he kills or he kicks people?
No, I said he kicks people.
Oh.
He is the capo out of my.
I want to give you guys your list from the last time and your updated list, Roland. So, Roland, your number one is Lopan. It has Simon Phoenix is number 2. Number 3 is Shonuff. Number 4, Benedict.
Yeah.
And number 5, Silverio.
Right.
Daniel, you have Simon Phoenix at number 1. You have Shonuff at number 2. Silverio at number 3. Lopan at number 4. And Benedict at number 5. And for me, it's Shonuff at number 1. Simon Phoenix, number 2. Lopan, number 3. Silverio at number 4. And Benedict at number 5.
That's funny how close our lists are, Ray.
Yeah.
Cool.
See, yeah, like our 1 and 2 are just switched.
Yeah.
But that's basically it.
Right.
The only one we have
Roland's the
that we agree on is Benedict so far.
Yeah. Okay. Lucky me, I get to be the outlier.
Well, Roland, you and I have Simon Phoenix at number 2.
Yeah. Stop copying
that's the only agreed villain that we have.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now we're gonna see if Last Action Hero porn parodies, and I've done a search on Pornhub, and the only thing that pops up, just typing in Last Action Hero, is a bunch of clips called Cock Hero. And basically, how long will you last? Cock Hero. How long will you last? 3?
I thought that was like a Guitar Hero 5? Thing.
Stamina Training Part 2.
Or a bad anime.
There's a lot of How Long Will You Last series. This is Cock Hero. Plain Edge Hero. And then My Hero Academia. Halloween for All Class 1.
No. Yeah.
And that's another porno right there.
Yeah.
Micro Bikini.
Too, roll.
Yeah, it is.
Your Old Man, which is some old man banging some cartoon character. The Last of Us 2. And it's more My Hero Academia. And the last one I see here is Cock Hero Exposure Jerk Off Challenge. And just typing in Google Last Action Hero porn parody. Not really anything here. It just says there's superhero porn parodies, which there are plenty of.
All you gotta say is boo.
Yeah, so it really doesn't porn parody necessarily. That's unfortunate. They're missing out on a lot of potential money here. Okay, so we'll bring this episode to a close. Please follow us on all the social medias, on Facebooks, Instagram, Twitter. If you can like and share, any of our posts, share any of our posts, the website, any of the episodes on Spotify or Google Podcasts, iTunes. Share it, tell people about it so we can build our audience.
If you do it, Roland will give you a back massage.
It's true. He will. It's in his contract with MoQuest Studios.
Yeah, you
So
gotta read that fine
you-
print, man. All I gotta do is like make sure I'm drunk for episodes. Sucks to be you.
So I have to put in effort. I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's the extra
doesn't
effort you
sound
have to
like-
put in.
Doesn't sound like something I would sign.
You did, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, you just didn't read it.
It's legally binding. It was too much of an effort for you to read it, so that was our benefit.
Right. I'm the law. All right.
No, unfortunately, that's not what it says in the contract.
So
I would discuss my
ignore-
contract, but it's confidential. So, if you all want to go on the website and check out Roland,
Contract redacted.
if you all want to go on the MoQuest Studios website and see Roland's
my
contract,
it says,
and the
"Fuck
one
you,"
that he
and-
signed himself, I mean, feel free.
Right. Yeah. Some douche sign here.
It literally says,
Well, that's how
douche
you need to
Roland's,
sign it.
and then your last name. I won't say it, but they can read it.
Yeah. Okay.
And surprisingly, it was only one page. It was too much for you.
Yeah. I guess so. Are you done,
Read this
motherfucker? Christ.
Technically, yes. So this is Last Action Hero, Roland's birthday choice.
Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed it. And if you are following along, like make record of your list of villains and how they rank according to you. And you can share it with us on our website. You can share it with us through social media.
Which
you can share it
we
with us
know
through
you
the email
fuckers
as well.
probably won't, but we want you to.
Probably won't, but we're gonna doing a little call to action to people to go ahead and
We're gonna keep asking. Just keep
we're gonna
hoping.
keep asking, 'cause, I mean,
keep
why not?
trying.
Mhm.
So that'll be the end of that. So my name is Ray, and the birthday person,
Oh, this is Roland.
and Pacific Northwest Studios.
You got that now?
All right, Last Action Hero, Cinekuest video.
Get the fuck out of here.
We'll talk to you next time.
See ya. Do. Get the fuck up here. All right. I'm going to go take a piss and get another drink for Hot Fuzz.